Everyone, it's Jayne Groll, CEO of the DevOps Institute. I'm so excited to be here at CDCOM talking about the humans of DevOps. A little bit about me. I am co-founder and CEO of the DevOps Institute. I'm a former IT instructor, also a former IT ops director, and a pretty frequent speaker at conferences and webinars. I'm particularly proud of the fact that I'm the author of the Agile Service Management Guide. So if you want to connect with either me or the DevOps Institute, our Twitter handles are listed below. If you're not familiar with the DevOps Institute, our mission is to advance the human elements of DevOps. And we do this by creating a safe and interactive environment where our members can network and gain knowledge and grow their careers, support their enterprise's transformation, and I think most importantly, celebrate their professional achievements. Our members are our mission, and we strive to connect and enable the global DevOps community so that they can drive change in the digital age. DevOps Institute is also a proud member of the Continuous Delivery Foundation, now in its second year. So I invite you to become a member of DevOps Institute. We have several levels of membership that are available, starting with a basic free. So membership is accessible and available to everyone. We've been standing up local virtual chapters lately. So if you become a free member, you can also tap into some of the local chapters as well. So let's start our presentation today with a little picture association. When you think of DevOps, which of the following images really remind you of DevOps, your perception of DevOps? Is it A, the pipeline? Is it B, the tools? Is it C, the people? Now, I'll bet you really want to choose C, but is your first instinct drawn to B? Do you think of DevOps first as tools, and then perhaps think a little bit more about the human aspect of DevOps? Well, today I'm going to speak with you mostly about the human experience in DevOps, and then we'll talk about how tools and pipelines support that as well. Transformation is a human condition. There's a lot of conversation about transformation these days: digital transformation, cultural transformation, transformational leadership. But please don't forget that it is humans that transform. Organizational culture, by definition, are the values and behaviors that contribute to the unique social and psychological environment of an organization. What does that mean? That means it's how you think, how you feel, how you interact within the environment that your organization has created. So culture doesn't really ever transform. People transform, and they transform when they're inspired to do so. And of course, people are the key influence on organizational culture. So again, as we go through this today, don't forget, it is really a human condition that drives transformation. These are the humans of DevOps. And today's DevOps human is a hybrid, right? Global DevOps humans are multi-skilled. They're moving towards more of a self-regulating system. They're interoperable with each other, so breaking down some of those silos. And today's hybrid DevOps human focuses entirely on the value that they individually, from a team perspective and from an organization perspective, deliver customer value. It's no surprise to anyone that the world shifted very suddenly and very drastically in 2020. The pandemic was a global event, and it was a global human event. It didn't affect just one region, it affected the whole world. And today, much of the world is still dealing with the economic, the human, the health crisis that's still associated with this pandemic. But without the humans of DevOps, organizations around the world would not have been able to adapt to changing needs that needed to change very, very suddenly with very little or no warning. So these hybrid humans of DevOps are really the unsung heroes of the pandemic, because it is the tech community that helped organizations pivot their business very, very, very quickly, often within just a few days, to go from perhaps an on-premise environment to a completely remote workforce while still trying to maintain some type of semblance of business. The new normal is coming. I don't know what the new normal is going to be, and I don't think you do either, but a couple of things are pretty clear. Digital transformation is no longer optional. We know that enterprises that had started down the path of moving into more of a digital environment, looking at DevOps as a way for the IT organization to operate, were more successful in pivoting to this new way of working faster than those that had perhaps been a little slower to the gate or had not yet started their transformational efforts. Coming out of this, whenever that is, and whatever this new normal looks like, we know that digital transformation is no longer an option for almost any organization around the world. But digital transformation can succeed unless we have hybrid DevOps humans who have new ideas and new skills to be able to support increased use of automation, to support interoperability between teams, to support being cross-skilled, multi-skilled, and self-regulating. DevOps Institute every year does an annual global research project known as Upskilling, the Enterprise DevOps Skills Report. At the end of today's presentation, I'm going to send out a plea for you all to finish, to complete the survey associated with the 2021 report. But today we're going to take a little look at the results of the 2020 report. Now, just to give you some context, the data for this report was collected in the last quarter of 2019, and the report was published on March 10th. Now, that's pretty significant because we know that the pandemic really started to take hold of the world somewhere around early March. Very proud of the fact that there have been about 3,500 downloads of the upskilling 2020 upskilling report to date. But the data is pre-pandemic, and again, we're really interested in seeing what the pandemic looks like, pandemic data looks like in the 2021 report. For the second year in a row, from 2019 to 2020, the data from the 2020 report showed us that process skills, human skills, automation skills are statistically equal in their importance in the hybrid DevOps human. Now, again, this is not our data. This is data that we've collected from all around the world. And interestingly enough, 2 years in a row, the respondents have pretty much divided equally between development and operations. Again, you can figure out where security fits in that, but for 2 years in a row, despite what role or what team or even where individuals sit in the organization, it's been pretty clear that process, human, and automation skills are equally important as IT professionals move into the future. So when we look at human skills, and again, you might know them as soft skills, we don't think they're soft, we think they're pretty hard. Across the world, North America, EMEA, and then globally, there's pretty good agreement that collaboration and cooperation are the top human skills that are necessary for digital transformation. And as you work your way kind of down this graph, you can see interpersonal skills, problem skills, the willingness to share and transfer knowledge, or flexibility, right? Even going a little bit further, empathy, being able to see the world through somebody else's lens, inclusiveness, again, a key part of collaboration where I'm interested in your opinion. Please contribute your expertise to what we're doing. All of these are critical to the humans of DevOps, right? So your automation skills may be exemplary, you may have great process internally, but unless you have humans that are able to collaborate with each other, that are able to solve problems together, that are willing to share their knowledge, that have empathy for their fellow humans, that are focused on inclusiveness, the enterprise can only get so far. So it is the collaborative DevOps human that is going to help drive cultural transformation, which leads to digital transformation. The collaborative DevOps human really does help to shape culture. And in a couple of interesting ways and some really unique critical success factors. We need transformational servant leaders. Now, if you come from the Scrum world, you're familiar with the term servant leader, but transformational servant leaders know how to inspire, that's the transformational part, and protect, and that's the servant leader. So it's really an inspire and serve type of leader that is humble enough to serve, but also inspirational enough instead of being a director and telling you what to do and how to do it. I mentioned before self-regulation, agile software development, DevOps, now site reliability engineering are all focused on self-regulating systems and self-regulating teams. That means they know what they have to do and they need to figure out how to do it. And of course, the proof is in the results. You do need practitioners that have depth of skill, but they also have a breadth and range of other skills. And the culture has to be one where learning is rewarded instead of punishing mistakes. And all of these ingredients create a culture that is innovative, that's inspirational, that moves into the future, and of course, helps an organization propel past the new normal to be able to compete in the digital age. DevOps humans are E-shaped. Now, last year we encouraged you to become T-shaped, and we still do, but the T has changed a little bit. So just to refresh, the stem of the T is deep knowledge, right? So if you're a software developer, your deep knowledge is coding in particular languages or particular environments. If you're a security professional, if you're an operations professional, the stem of your T would be your deep knowledge. This year, we've kind of shifted a little bit and said the stem of your T really should be process and framework. And that doesn't necessarily mean ITIL or Scrum or, you know, any of the large range of frameworks that we have in IT, but it's really understanding how the value stream flows, right? Where are the constraints? How do we shorten the time that it takes for us to accomplish all the downstream activities from development into and beyond production? So you need to develop deeper knowledge of your internal process, and that may mean reshaping some of your process supported by some of the amazing frameworks that are out there, but that's your deep skill. The top of your T is a broad range of other skills. And this year, we're really encouraging you to focus on your human skills. Develop a broad range of human skills. And there are ways to practice that. There are ways to get trained on that. So there's lots of opportunities to really groom your human skills, because it is going to be the human skills that are going to drive everything else that happens. Now, the E comes from DevOps humans that have hybrid experiences. So the willingness to explore, the ability to execute against automation, against functional skills like security, and of course, against technical skills, which is the heart of all of us as IT technologists. So think about this, really process this image to understand that you are the sum of your experience, but that's not enough, right? You need to add in your human skills. You need to have a deep understanding of process, because process equals consistency. And you do need to develop skills across automation, across different technologies, and of course, across different function areas. So the day of kind of that I-shaped individual specialist is moving away in favor of individuals that are test-driven developers, or they're site reliability engineers that can code, and really moving everybody into a little bit of a cross-skilled, multi-skilled perspective. It is always going to be people that make the biggest difference. As individuals, take the initiative to skill up yourself, right? Look at the skills you have, do a skills assessment that you'll be able to do that shortly through DevOps Institute. Identify which human process and automation skills you need to improve, and then challenge the organization to adapt. Humans innovate. And so it's the individual, through their experiences, through their ideas, that will help the organization to adapt. Leaders, become a transformational servant leader. And that means that you have to look at ways to inspire, right? Role modeling helps, obviously, being able to guide teams in the same direction, but you also have to be willing to serve. to protect the team, to remove the impediments. So it is really the fantastic marriage of inspiration and service. Promote new ways of working, experiment, feel comfortable trying different things, start to tap into self-regulating systems, trusting people to be able to do that. And when that happens, be prepared to reward and incent change. And then organizationally, we need organizations that are happy fostering and rewarding learning, that become continuous learning environments, that learn from failure, that are willing to take mindful risks, and then shift your metrics away from component level metrics and start to look at customer value, because that's a shared metric, that's a shared accountability that crosses the entire value stream. The hybrid product team is the ultimate alignment of people, process, and automation. And it's supported by leaders. So leaders can't mandate this without the support of practitioners. And of course, with the foundation of a strong enterprise culture. So I invite you to learn more about the data that's included in this report. You can go up to DevOps Institute's website, become a free professional member. There's other paid levels that are being introduced, but download this report. It's really deep. There's a lot of data. Obviously, I only gave you a little taste of it today, but there's a lot of data that's associated with this report that you could use as talking points within your organization. Now, here's my plea. Help us help you. The 2021 survey is open. And this year, more than ever, we need everyone to take a few minutes to fill out this survey. This has been, to say the least, a pretty unusual year. And we think that the data coming out of the 2020 survey feeding into the 2021 report will help us all understand what skills are considered must-have, nice-to-have, not as important, as we start to identify what the new normal is. So please, here's the link. Go up. It takes you about 15, 20 minutes to fill out this survey. Every survey response counts. And I promise you that when we release the report in February or early March of 2021, the report will be freely available to the community, and hopefully we'll have some really good and insightful data. So with that, I want to say thank you. I'm very proud that DevOps Institute is a member of the Continuous Delivery Foundation. So excited for CDCOM, but I think most importantly, you know, human advancement and coming out of this year in particular, which has been such a human crisis year. You know, the support of organizations like the Linux Foundation, the Continuous Delivery Foundation, and of course, DevOps Institute are essential to helping the world recover, at least from a technology and organizational perspective. So I hope you follow me. I hope you follow DevOps Institute. And again, once again, I encourage you to become a member of DevOps Institute by going up to our website. Stay safe, stay healthy, stay connected. I'm Jayne Groll. Thanks very much.